Bonnie Blue has come out in support of reform and is also being held in prison in Bali or Indonesia?
In Bali, yeah. I think she's broken some Indonesian anti-pornography laws. Or
What laws exactly has she broken? I heard like 19 or 13 other men also got arrested.
It's just I think a whole array of, they want to go after her for anti-pornography laws because they have a lot of laws regarding pornography production, and she had her whole setup there, driving around in a van, filming pornography. I think it's the Australia's version of Freshers season. I think a lot of Australians go to Indonesia and Bali. And this is like fresh. Is it Freshers or what is it called? Spring break. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Australia's version of spring break.
I guess it is springtime for them right now. Down under.
Yeah. So she's been arrested for that. I think they're charging her. They want to investigate her for something to do with minors, which is reasonable since she's well known for.
I think she got banned from Australia for this dodgy filming and with potential minors.
What, she was banned from Australia? It doesn't mean she was banned from Australians.
No.
If Australians are going to travel.
So she's going where the Australians go, I guess. But she's definitely been banned from Fiji before as well, which makes me think this was all part of her plan, right? Go to countries, do something borderline illegal, and drum up more views.
Well, it's going to be a very expensive publicity stunt, I think. If she has to pay... It's something like 250,000, the fine could be, or 15 years in prison.
Do we think Bonnie Blue can't afford that? Do you think she's not calculated?
The money's not the problem here. I mean, she's pretty clearly very wealthy. She's, I don't know if you've seen the documentary.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to watch the documentary to know that she is minted off OnlyFans and all the rest. Yeah.
But I think the key scary thing here is the 15 years prison sentence, and Indonesia may be wanting to make an example out of this. Mm-hmm. I think if we find her behaviour degenerate in the West, I mean, imagine what those countries might think of that. They might be very strict.
Okay, right now I can't find it, but there is definitely precedent for this where British teenagers were arrested from Indonesia for peeing, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know if she knew what she was getting into when she went to Indonesia and she did all this stuff. Maybe she knew and she did it because it's risque and she wanted to drum up publicity. Maybe she didn't realise she would get arrested, or maybe she knew she would get arrested, but she probably thinks she'll get away with it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But if she didn't know, it seems to be like quite a stupid risk. But I think that's what you have to do if your whole brand is sort of ramping up and escalating
and
the outrage. Testing the limits. I mean, you're driven here eventually. A lot of people were speculating that she's going to have to find new ways to become more outrageous. Mm-hmm. And I guess we've seen it happen today or yesterday. I'm not sure when the news broke of this week.
Well, now today the news has broken that she's come out in support of Reform UK.
Yes.
In support of Farage. Expected? Unexpected?
I think it's quite expected. And I think you'll agree with this. But her and Farage are very similar.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
Yeah, they're both outrage farmers.
They're both provocateurs.
Yeah.
And if you read her article in the Spectator, the thing is, I think she's very smart, but just not very educated and not particularly articulate. So her article in the Spectator is not like any typical Spectator article. It's very straightforward English. My dad was this, my granddad
It's her musings from jail, like some philosopher of the old days. They're writing letters from prison.
But the way she talks is very like direct, to the point, simple English, right? And this is clearly the sort of base that Farage appeals to as well, which is the very straight-laced, like working class Brit who just wants to hear the truth. And people like Bonnie Blue and Farage have just a way of giving their audience what they want in not so many words. They're not complicated, they're not apologetic about it at all. And I think that gains them a lot of respect amongst this like British public that want to stop apologising for minor infractions or this or that or using the R word. Like, I think it really... There's some sort of similarity there because they're both quite intelligent, and I know people will come after me for this, but I watched an interview with Bonnie Blue on this channel here, where actually I was on the side of the people she was debating, this like women's rights activist, saying that, okay, the nuanced take is Bonnie Blue is probably bad for all of womankind, like the way she portrays us, the image men get, the way she, and then Bonnie Blue has her faults, her moral faults for sure. She's very openly doesn't care if someone's boyfriend or husband cheats on them. She thinks
Well,
she
that's
blames
even
them.
better because that's more publicity, right?
Exactly,
If she does
but-
something outrageous like that.
So the thing is, nothing she said in that interview specifically, and I please encourage people to go watch that interview, is like you can follow her logic. And you might say
Yeah.
that she's very good at justifying her actions and she's like gaslit herself into thinking that everything she does is perfect. But the moral outrage across what Bonnie Blue does, which is work as a sex worker and, you know, toes the line when it comes to legality. But ultimately what she's been doing so far until this incident recently has been in compliance with the law, and she knows the law, and she's very careful about not overstepping the law, but doing that like grey area enough, pushing that to speak to her audience and spark this outrage. But ultimately, I think, well, yeah, do you have a opinion on this? Like, I think she's actually quite smart.
I think where her and Reform align are sort of ideological, because they sort of both have the same worldview. And specifically in her article, she was saying things like how she agrees with Reform's inheritance tax policy.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want she doesn't want to be taxed by inheritance. She thinks, you know, money shouldn't be taxed twice. This common line.
Yeah.
But she also believes that tax drives people out of the country.
Yeah.
Which is something we've heard a lot of recently. Whether that's true or not, it speaks to the mindset that she has. Because I think she's the exact type of person, the exact type of personality that would be leave a country for better tax, a better tax situation, because she's sort of morally ambiguous. She doesn't have roots anywhere. She doesn't really have a family. Her mindset is that of a prostitute.
Yeah.
So she treats the country like a prostitute. She treats nation, whichever one is the lowest tax, you know, the highest bidder for her. She'll go and live there. And that sort of mindset doesn't resonate with a lot of other wealthy people who aren't leaving the country, even though taxes have gone
But the
up.
point is, she is wealthy, or like at least she is rich, right?
Well,
so she is definitely
she is one of the rich that
she is
would
one of the
leave.
people that would leave. However, the base that Reform is speaking to are people who are less globally mobile, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the outrage is sparked over things like double taxation and inheritance tax and things without a proper understanding almost of, are they even affected by it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the Reform base would think of her.
They probably hate her.
Yeah.
And this is why I wonder how many people are going to piss off with this comparison between her and Farage, because I think the Reform base is, the right in general is going towards a very puritanical, back to a theocratic nation, you know, and nothing inherently wrong with going back to a sort of like, really like saying that Britain is like a Christian country, we should remain Christian. But there are people that, you know, go a step beyond that and try to oppose secularism, right? And that's why they probably don't dislike Bonnie Blue, because she goes against, she provokes what people think is moral and normal and reasonable and family values and all of these things that Reform probably stands for. But she does it in a way that is so like individual in a way, right?
Fundamentally libertarian, individualistic.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they do. There is overlap between the Reform thought in the thought leader Nigel Farage and Bonnie Blue. I think there is definitely overlap, and it makes sense. I mean, if I was to allocate Bonnie Blue to a party before this came out, it would probably be Reform.
Yeah.
So not totally, you know, surprising. Not surprising at all, really.